Hey, how's it going, guys? My name is Ninja Derpify, and welcome back to Gnomoria episode 32. So, there's been a new update. It's 0.8.13.1. So what has this update added? Well, basically, you're looking right at it. The main thing it has changed is the way that some of the military works. It has upgraded some systems. So we're going to take a look. So over in the military, we can see that we've got the Butcher Shadows. They're in combat as always. They are training up. We've got 5 soldiers, 1 squad. I think that's actually new. It tells you how many soldiers you have and things like that. But that is not the most important thing. So we go over into formations, and we can see that this has changed a little bit. So we can see that we've got, this is actually our formation. We've got a leader. So this leader, I believe, gets a perk, or possibly the whole squad gets a perk. Not 100% sure. It probably is the whole squad. Maybe it is the whole squad. Okay, so basically we get this perk, and we've also got these actions down here. Let's go from the top. We've got a perk that our formations can take on. Now they can range from, there's about 6 of them now or something, 5 or 6. So they can go from obviously none, which you do not want, or we can go from on the move, which is increased movement speed for each vacant position. So this essentially means that if you've got a squad with less than, the total amount, like less than 5 people, each slot that is not taken up by a soldier is going to make the actual people in that formation or that squad move faster. So basically, if you wanted a scout class to do like a really big, like scouting of your whole area so that you could catch goblins really early, that is now possible to make it even faster so you can always get away from the goblins. All you have to do is make one single squad that's called, the scouting squad, have one guy in there, have the on the move perk, and for each vacant position you're going to go even faster. Now the next one is keep your eyes open. Now this gives you increased vision range for each active position. So the more positions that are inside of your squad, let's say if you have 1 person, it's going to go up a little bit. If you have 2, 3, 4, up to 5 in your total squad, your vision is going to increase, so that you basically want the squad to be full if you're taking this perk, so you can see things really clearly wherever they are, and it's going to be really good to be able to spot goblins. Now we've also got a shield wall. Now this increases the block chance and block rate for each member with a shield. Now I'm probably going to go with this one actually, now that I read over it, because I actually have 4 people out of 5 that actually have shields in this, one-handed shields, and we've got 1 person with a 2-hander. But we're still going to look over the rest of them because we do have the best defense. Now, increased melee weapon damage for each member with a melee weapon. Now, this one actually might be better because everyone on this squad is melee. So everyone's going to get better melee damage against the filthy, dirty goblins. So we don't have to worry about as much craziness going on because we're going to be doing more damage. We can cut off any part of their body that we feel like, and they're going to just cry and run away and be like, meh, but I don't want to do this anymore. And we're just going to keep chasing them because we're going to be like, no, you chose this path. You came into the Grizzly Inkling and you just desecrated like everything. You try to attack us. I mean, the honor that is in your blood is no more. You're just bad. You're a bad thing. You're a creature that has to be just taken away from life and land and everything. So the last perk that's been put in with this update right now is for ranged weapons. So you get increased damage on your ranged weapons for each member with a ranged weapon. Now this is basically what you want to set for your ranged squad. You don't want melee people to be having this perk on them because that is going to be basically depriving you of damage that they can be doing. You want to have your squad separated, which is going to be able to make it more organized, and these perks make you make decisions that, they affect sometimes how you set up your squads, where you put them, how you set the guarding or the patrolling points, and choosing these different things are going to basically make your experience with this squad and their fighting experience a bit different. So it is worth mentioning that the developer has said that all of these perks are not final. Some more are going to be put in because he is planning on putting more in. So there's probably going to be more for ranged weapons like this. I don't know. A really good one would be accuracy. I think the more people with ranged weapons in a squad, they get increased accuracy, or maybe they have a chance to, I don't know, something crazy like a critical hit or something. But there's really so much that can be done here, which is going to be just adding depth and amazing to the military. It's going to be adding something that's hasn't been there. It's basically been, set people in the squad, they do what they want, in their certain positions, and then, they fight. But this is, and even more, we're going to go into even more that allows you to change how they react in battle situations. Now for this squad, seeing as everyone is either one-handed or is a two-hander and they're all melee, we're going to go for the best defense, which of course increases melee damage for each member with a melee weapon. That is going to be awesome. It's going to be working for every single person in my squad, and it's going to be so much damage that we're just going to be like unstoppable. So more additions to the formations tab basically allows you to change how all of your formations are going to be you know, like interacting with the enemies. We can see the first one is obviously attack targets that you've called out. So when you click on a goblin or an enemy and you click attack, whoops, this squad, you know, the squad that has that checked is going to just rush to there. They're going to do their best to attack that that evil, nasty thing, and then it's just going to be very normal. That's how things have always been in the past, but we can also do new things. So we can go to defend gnomes. So enemies that have been spotted by other gnomes, let's say if you got a woodcutter, he's out there in the wilderness, he spots a gnome, he will actually sort of battle cry and say, come on guys, come attack this retard guy, he's really nasty. And then all of the people in this formation are going to essentially come and defend that gnome. So it's going to allow you to basically save some of your gnomes. They're going to be defending your worker gnomes. Anyone who has spotted a goblin, this squad is going to rush over and go to kill them. So we're going to definitely click that for this squad. We definitely want that happening. So along with these new things, we've got also another thing that helps the scout class. Now if you really like scouting, you really like getting an advantage on your enemy, knowing exactly where they're coming from, so you have time to maybe ready up or just do whatever that you may feel like doing, you know, getting your ranged people in a certain position, make sure your ranged people are, you know, not sleeping. I don't know if you can even wake people up. You might be able to, I'm not totally sure. But if you had a scout formation, you can actually go for avoid combat and avoid enemies. So let's say your scout sees someone. Now that scout would automatically go run away and avoid. Now if you had that perk, which is, what is it called? Keep your eyes open, on the move. If you have on the move as well as a scout with avoiding enemies, there's a pretty damn good chance you're never going to get hit, and you could run, you know, all the way back to your kingdom and not be hurt. But that's going to allow you to get all your soldiers and just basically contain the situation so that your workers don't get attacked, so everything else doesn't get attacked. Because this goblin is going to be running after your scout. He's not going to be running after anyone else, and he's probably not going to be able to catch him. So avoiding enemies is a really good little thing there for scouts and also ranged enemies, ranged people. So avoiding enemies is going to be a great thing to check if you love scouting and if you have a scouting formation. So in the positions tab, we have some new changes. Now we've got pursuing lost targets. Actually, let's go to the perks because that is pretty important. Now, obviously our positions are basically roles that each gnome plays inside of the squad. So we can see that we've got one-handed shield and a two-handed guy. Now if we go to our formation, we can see we've got 4 one-handed shields and 1 two-handed guy. So basically this means each of those guys in their certain positions are going to be able to choose a... Oh dear. I accidentally removed that formation. So in the positions tab, we have some new options. Now one of them is obviously being able to choose different types of perks for different positions. So we can see we have 2 positions. Obviously the one-handed shield, he's got a weapon and a shield, and we've got the two-hander who's got a great big sword or an axe and no shield, and he's going to be doing a lot of damage with a bit less defense. So we can go to perks, and there's actually quite a few different perks, which is going to be so useful for some of the positions that you have, especially with changing between ranged and melee. Now we've got Highlander. This increases two-handed damage when no armor is equipped. This is basically a guy that's completely just so battle hardy and just crazy that he wants to wear no armor and get absolute maximum damage out of his two-handed weapon, because he is not, you know, like he's not flailing around with heavy armor or anything like that. He's not held down. He can swing that thing as fast as he possibly can. Now that sounds like a really risky thing in my opinion. So I'm not going to do that for our two-handed guy. We're just going to go and check out Frenzy. Now increased attack speed when wielding 2 weapons. but decreased chance to defend. So this is obviously a perk that has some of these perks do generally have a negative and a positive, so it's a trade-off. You have to think about what's going to benefit you the most. Now Frenzy would obviously be if you have a two-handed guy that you want really fast attack speed, but you don't expect him to be defending, but that is completely up to you. Now, Way of the Gnome, this sounds like an awesome thing. Increased attack speed and dodge rate when no armor or weapon is equipped? Wow, so if you have Kung Fu gnomes that kick and punch and do like elbows and wrestling moves, and you want them to be really fast attacking and an increased dodge rate. So basically it's a ninja. Essentially this is a ninja class in a way. If you have nothing equipped, except for, obviously your normal clothes, because you wouldn't want to be running out on the battlefield naked. That'd be a little bit strange. The Way of the Gnome essentially allows you to have a ninja or a monk or just a melee naked class, which sounds kind of funny, and it actually is, because that's the way that some things happen when you choose the Way of the Gnome. The next perk we have is the Scout perk. Now this increases the vision range with a torch. So your scouts, they're going to be running away. You do not want your scouts to actually have a weapon, or pretty much you probably want them with leather armor, but that's not the point. The point here is if you have a torch in their hands, which is going to increase their range, because they don't need a weapon, remember. Scouts are going to just get increased range, and they're going to be much better at their job of scouting. Scouting is all about vision range and speed, so running away and actually being able to see your enemy. So that perk is amazing for scouts. That is really, really good. That complements a scout really well. So if you want a scout, which I may in the future, I will definitely choose that perk for my scout. So the next perk is Guard. Now this increases your block chance and rate. So this is essentially your defenders. This would be really good if you set up a line, basically, of people guarding with, I don't know, could you go 2 shields? You could probably go 2 shields, and if they ever update to have like a 2-handed shield, which would basically be just maximum defense, totally armored up dudes, you could have, like a wall of guys that just stand there, take the damage, and have like a really good block chance, and probably not take much damage, and then you could have all of these ranged guys behind them, and they would just be firing and doing the damage, and they'd be out of harm's way. That would be a really cool setup, and that's something I probably want to do in the future as well. The next perk is a Mark's Gnome. This is increased ranged weapon range and accuracy. That is exactly what I was thinking should be in the other perks, but this is really good because it allows you to set each position. Like you can have different types of ranged weapons and ranged fighters basically fighting for you. You can have someone that's really accurate with a really long range, or you can go down to sharpshooter, and then your range damage increases with distance. So this is a really, really nice way. It adds so much more complexity and just interesting things to the game, because you can, it's not so much of this guy's going to be ranged and he's going to be sitting here. It's these guys inside of this squad some of them are going to be Mark's Gnomes, so they're going to have this benefit, and then the other people are going to be sharpshooters, so they're going to be way at the back, and they're going to be just doing maximum damage with as much distance as they possibly can. That is really, really awesome. Next perk we have is called Finish Him. Now this reminds me of Mortal Kombat, when it would always go right at the end, it would go finish him, and you just do like your massive kill move or whatever, but that's not important in this game right here, because what this perk does, it allows you to target, or it allows basically the gnome that is set on this position to target nearby fallen enemies and do additional damage. So basically, when a goblin falls over, when a disgusting, dirty, what are those things called? The golems, goblin, when they do stuff and they fall over, these guys are going to run in and just be like, oh yes, and just go finish him, do the last final hit with additional damage. It's basically a critical when they're down. That is amazing. That is really, really good. It does trade off other things, of course, so you can you can think about what you would rather, Way of the Gnome, or you could have Scout, or you could have Guard. There's so many decisions to be made here. It just adds so much to the game. So the next one is Knock 'em Down. Now this is a higher chance to hit legs and feet. Now this is really, really awesome, because this can pair with the last perk that we just talked about. Now you can have like you could have 4, let's say 4 melee guys, all with Knock 'em Down. Now that is the higher chance to hit the legs and the feet, and what happens when you hit the legs and the feet? Of course they're going to fall over. So you have one guy that is finish him. So this guy is going to be doing critical hits on anyone that falls over. So these two perks would work really well together and would basically be like, just like a sweet, sweet ass, like synergy between them both, because they're both working towards the same goal. Either it's knocking them down or it's doing extra damage when they're knocked down. So now we've got disarm. Now this one is really awesome. It's a higher chance to hit hands and arms. This effectively will make the goblins do so much less damage if he drops his weapon. So this is just an amazing thing. Being able to tell your gnomes, we're not talking about goblins here, being able to tell your gnomes to try and hit the weapon out of the enemy's hands. I mean, that's crazy. That's exactly what you can basically command and micromanage and tell these guys what you want them to be doing and increase your effectiveness and your craziness and your it's just that is awesome. Aim for the eyes allows you a higher chance to hit eyes with ranged weapons. So if you do not like goblins seeing where they're actually running, if you want them just to be like going crazy and they can't swing their axe and they're just like, oh my eyes, if you want them to run back to their little stupid place and get glasses, and then you can laugh at them, even though that's not really funny because glasses are really pretty much a normal thing these day and age. But anyway, because maybe it's not normal for gnomes, because we actually do have the monocles. So actually, scratch that. You're not going to make fun of these guys, because if they just want to improve their sight, that's not their problem. But if you want to aim for the eyes, if you want to blind the enemy as a ranged weapon guy, you can do that. You can aim for the eyes. That is amazing. The last perk we have is called Militia. Now this allows them to perform jobs, but they will stop to go on duty. Now this is really good because militia are essentially, I think the definition of militia is someone who is basically a worker who can quickly change into a make-do soldier. He's not going to be the best soldier, but in numbers, militia can be very good. So, you could set like a whole squad of militia that would just continue on with their jobs, and then you wouldn't have a guard station set up for them. You wouldn't have a patrol set up for them, so they could go around doing their jobs. And then as soon as a goblin is spotted, they would rush and they would turn into a soldier, just for that small amount of time to defeat and add extra numbers and just overwhelm the enemy. That is really, really cool. So seeing all of these things, what am I going to choose for the one-handed shield? Honestly, I'm thinking disarm, because that's a really useful thing. No matter what, taking the weapon out of an enemy's hands is always going to be useful, regardless of whether they're melee or they've got a two-hander or one-hander. I think disarm is going to be used for our one-handed shields. And we can see the uniform is obviously one-handed shields. Now we can also switch over quickly to two-handers, and we've also got a perk for the two-hander guys. Now, I don't want to do Highlander because I really want armor. Frenzy, we haven't got two weapons, we've only got one weapon. Let's see. A guard, block chance, marks no, sharpshooter, finish him, knock him down. You know what? Maybe the two-hander guy should be a knock him down. He goes for the legs and the feet. He can knock them down, and he's going to like incapacitate them in a certain way. So I think knock him down is going to be great for the two-hander. Along with all of those perks, we have these 4 checkboxes down here. And the first one is pursue lost targets. Now, if the line of sight with the target is lost, basically you see a goblin and he runs out of sight, your guys are going to move to the last known position. So they're going to like run after him and try find him so he doesn't get up to any devious stuff, and basically so he doesn't run away, because if he's like fleeing from battle, we pretty much don't want to take any prisoners. These guys want absolute harm against us, so we're going to do the exact same to them. It is a mutual hatred, so that's basically the way it's going to happen with this lost targets. Now, maintaining distance. This is attempting to move to the maximum range of the current weapon. This is exactly what a ranged person wants. If they have a gun, if they have a crossbow, they are going to keep the maximum distance while still being able to shoot. So you could even, having your scout, have a scout that's a ranged guy, having this maintain distance. He would run, shoot. He probably wouldn't be able to get hit. He maybe one or two hits, but he would be able to shoot and do damage all the way back. He'd basically be kiting him, if you know what that means. Basically, you're just running around, not getting hit and doing damage. So that's a really, really awesome thing. Now, the third one is retreat if bleeding. So this allows you to attempt to retreat during combat to stop the bleeding and go get a bandage. That is awesome. Isn't that awesome? That allows the people who have injured the most to basically run back and not bleed out and not get more and more injured to the point of death or just serious, cutting a leg off or something. So retrieve bleeding, I think both of our two-handed and one-handed are both going to get that, because there's usually one or two people that start bleeding. Now they can run away and the combat is still going to be, we're going to win, if there's only like 2-3 goblins. We're still going to win, but it's going to allow that guy to get away and, survive. That's amazing. So here is a really, really awesome one. This basically assists squad leader. It allows you to target the squad leader's target. Now, you're probably thinking, okay, so that's kind of helpful. This means basically that this whole squad is going to target. If you set the whole squad to having this assist the squad leader, they're going to focus on one goblin at a time. Now this is going to do the absolute maximum damage. This could be a problem though, because if the goblins are spread out, and some goblins are attacking part of your squad and your squad leader's over, to somewhere else attacking him, they're going to basically ignore that, goblin that's separate from where your squad leader is, and they're going to run across, and that could be dangerous. I think we'll keep the two-handed. We won't keep the one-handed because they've got more. They've actually got more defense than our two-handed guy. We're going to put our two-handed guy on to assist the squad leader. So whatever the squad leader is attacking, this two-hander is going to come and assist him. So he's going to be much better in battle with his second guy, always there, regardless of where on the map the battle is going on. So that is the majority of the changes that have been done to military. So much depth has been added to this update. It is kind of insane. There's so many things you can think about, so many options, perks, and different things that you consider before you actually choose what you're going to be doing. There are some other small things that have been added, like for instance, the chest plate actually now guards the neck. In previous builds, it has not protected the neck, so the neck has always been exposed, I guess. Maybe the helmet did it, maybe not, but the chest piece does protect your neck now. So this has been a massive episode full of so many explanations. I hope everyone understands. If they have any questions, because I probably didn't explain it as the best as anyone could possibly do it, because I don't know exactly every single in and out of this game, which is sort of part of the fun, because unexpected things can happen. But if you want any questions, generally if someone comments, there's probably going to be another person that comments and answers them, apart from myself. I will try to help out everything that you could possibly imagine. If I cannot answer it, I'll probably just say, I'm really sorry, but I can't answer it. I don't know where to find the information, and we'll just have to basically, cross our fingers and hope that, that the question wasn't too amazingly complex that, the circuitry in my brain completely blows up. And then, so that's going to be it for this episode. There was really a lot of information. So basically this is going to be a really informative one, and I hope you guys understand the update quite a lot better than you did before. Just been reading some text. Some of the explanations I think should be fairly good. So the next episode we're going to be continuing on, unless there is another massive update. I don't know, maybe this could become a regular thing, explaining all of these updates. Actually, if you guys want explanations like this, or if you don't want them, just leave a comment saying one or the other, because I definitely will take that into consideration the next time an update comes out that is of this size and with this much information to be basically explained or just told or learnt or whatever. So the next episode is going to continue as normal. I want to thank all of you guys for watching. You guys are amazing. Just keep on doing what you do, and I will keep on doing what I do, and we'll be like this awesome team. So I want to thank you guys and see you next time.